Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies with your host, Jason Marshall.
Welcome to We Don't Have Cookies. I'm your host, Jason Marshall. Before we get into the show, I just want to give a quick shout out to the guys over at the Gym City Podcast on their 400th episode. That's pretty awesome. And part of the Gym City Podcast is Mark DeGrossa. He's going to be a guest on one of the episodes in December. We're booking into December now, but I'm really looking forward to having that guy on. I want to thank Izzy Rock for inviting me to be on his podcasting panel. And I want to thank the person who organized the con for adding me to their podcast panel. Joining me today on the show is comedian, actor, author, and Facebook user, Mike Canistero.
Yeah, Facebook user.
Yeah.
I actually made my first Facebook Live video today.
Did you?
I did.
How'd you like it?
I don't care how much I liked it. It's how much everybody else likes it, right? I don't. How many likes I get?
Did you get a lot?
I don't even know. I first of all, the reason I could do that is because I don't have a smartphone. I have like a track phone. Like when I texted you today, it took me like 25 minutes because I had to hit the button 4 times each letter.
Holy shit, I forgot about those days.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah. Okay.
So anyhow, like, I actually now can make Facebook Live videos with my laptop because there's a, camera, and that option wasn't available. So all you people out there making Facebook Live videos, like, your barriers to entry just got smashed down, man, because we PCers are now able to make Facebook Live videos.
Did you like it? I mean, are you going to make more of these?
I think I kind of had I was going to make a bunch of YouTube videos out of it, but like I think the motif, I think that's the theme. Motif is something like you'd have a room be, like the, it's just going to be free shit. I like free shit, so I wherever I can find free shit. So if you look at my Facebook picture, my profile, it's got me sitting in a red chair.
Yeah.
Well, I found that in a parking lot. It's just abandoned. It does have scratch marks in it that says karma asshole. But so I think, it was a product of a bad relationship episode. Nonetheless, it was free. I went back for it, and it smelled so good. It smelled like brand new.
Yeah.
That dude was just hurt by it.
Well, I'd say that's probably why it was cut up. It was probably his favorite chair. He just got it.
It was just it was beautifully. I mean, I just sat in it to take that silly picture, and then I'm like, this smells so good. It's brand new, just like new leather smells.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, no one's going to take this with car. It's going to go into a landfill somewhere. Yeah. So I have it in my basement, and I did my first Facebook Live video from that chair.
Have you ever tried to find out whose chair that was? Have you done any research where you put something like that? What's that called on Craigslist when people...
Misconnection.
Yeah.
No, you know what? I mean, I don't...
Don't give them the chair back. Just say you want to know how this chair ended up carved up in the parking lot. But you can't have it back.
I've already gratified myself with the chair. I don't need the information to go with it.
Inquiring minds want to know, man.
You know what? I'm pretty much happy not knowing. I think as I get older, the less I know, the better. And so, actually, you know what? It was funny because there was a Goodwill truck right next to it when I went and took the silly picture. I wonder if the Goodwill guy got that and then just said, nope, this ain't going.
Yeah,
and then just dumped it.
We can't put this in the store because of what's carved into it.
Because their standards are too high. That's Goodwill. It's got pretty high standards. They can't have any cuss words in their stuff.
Yeah.
So, but I tell you what, it's like, and everybody was like, so I posted it, and at first people were like, oh, you're going to get bed bugs. And I'm like, no, leather doesn't have bed bugs. But actually, the bed bugs can get inside.
Oh, and the stuffing.
Yeah, but, I've not had any bed bugs since. So
it seemed like a pretty nice chair.
I guess it has to be sort of decrepit to be infested. Nope, not necessarily. I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems like it came from an upper-class place, and it doesn't seem... I don't know. Maybe they travel a lot and they stay in a lot of shitty hotels.
Yeah, I think, you can have bed bugs and be a pretty sanitary person, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
especially, like I said, if you're traveling and they don't give you much of a budget for a hotel room.
That's right. Yep, yeah. There you go. The bed bugs, and they're insidious, and you got to do all sorts of crap to get rid of them. But anyhow,
I've never had them before, but no, it would suck if you got them.
Yeah.
But I've also heard, I wish my friend was still around because I'm pretty sure he would have tried this for the show. I don't know where the hell I'd find bed bugs, but I heard if you smoke them, they'll fuck you up pretty good. You hallucinate off of them.
Really?
It's like looking the back of one of those frogs or something.
Yeah, really? You smoke bed bugs.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought that?
So, if you're a drug addict and your house gets infested
Yeah.
with bed bugs, might not be so bad.
No,
It's
you
kind
could
of a
just
free ride through life. Now you just
Yeah.
smoke bed bugs.
yeah,
and
it's
you're good.
free drugs.
Maybe somebody's just not dirty or something like that. Maybe they have a drug problem and they just don't admit it. And this is their way of masking it. So, no, I'm just kind of dirty.
Yeah, and that's how you can explain away your drug problem. And then when no one's looking, you got the bowl and you just throw some bed bugs in there and you roast them up. That's it. That's the whole perfect excuse.
I want to go to a head shop and see if they have a bed bug pipe.
You'd have a bed bug motifed pipe. It was just shaped like a bed bug. It was a bong. It's a bed bong. A bong bed. But no, I don't know. Yeah, I never knew that before. And frankly, that information will probably never be of any value to me. But someone out there listening, you never know.
If you're out there listening
And you want to smoke some bed bugs, you ought to do it.
send me a video. I want to see the video. We'll put it on the Facebook page. Hell, I'll put it on the website too.
Aren't they hard to get a hold of though? Aren't they really sneaky? Like they come out at night and stuff, and they're hard to catch, aren't they?
I've never seen one.
Okay, I have, because we had them where I work before, because what we're doing now at the college is we're switching to leather and synthetic chairs. So we're staying away from fabric like in the library and stuff, because we had, just like, I'm sure that it's a learning curve. But probably as the population became more mobile, bed bugs became more of a problem. So I know that there's been times when the couches in the lounge just disappeared for a weekend, and then they came back, and we're like, what happened? I think they have to steam those things. They can't stand the heat. They got to kill them with heat. I think what they do is they come out at night, and then they sense your heat and your carbon dioxide or something like that. This could be totally false, and I could be full of shit. But I'm pretty sure that's what happens. So that I think the drug user would have to do amphetamines to stay up and catch the bed bugs. But then you'd have to sit there silently and try to get them. I mean, it would be you'd have to use the one drug to come down from the other. They look like a stink bug, but they're not brown. You've seen stink bugs,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, but they're red and they're small. Oh, yeah, stink bugs. What happened with stink bugs? I never knew of stink bugs until 5 years ago.
I get them out here.
They're all over.
For some reason, they like my screen door.
Well, they get in too. They can sneak through the smallest spaces. To catch them, you feel like you're the world's most best insecticide person. You feel like you're the best. They just put up no fight whatsoever. You just get a piece of toilet paper, you just grab them, they're like, "Oh, you got me."
This is how it ends.
This is it. This is it. I mean, I don't even throw them in the. Sometimes I throw them in the toilet, but sometimes I just feel so sorry for them. I throw them back outside, and they're just coming right back in. But I'm like, they can't even defend themselves. Yeah. I have no expertise at all in bugs. I'm not an entomologist or anything, so I should probably shut up. You got a whole notebook full over there.
I know,
think
we
was
never-
bed bugs on it? No.
That was what I was going to say. You never know where the conversation is going to go.
That's
because
true.
I wasn't predicting bed bugs today.
Yeah, bed bugs came up somehow. I forget.
Yeah, I don't. Oh, we were talking about your Karma asshole chair.
Oh, the Karma asshole
And-
chair. Yeah, so anyhow, that was a good Facebook video that I think I did for my first time, except you got to look at the camera. You can't look at the screen.
Yeah.
And so I'm looking at myself, it's looking like. So it looks like I'm a complete narcissist because I'm programmed to look at the laptop and look at the screen when I should be looking at I don't webcam with anybody or anything. Mm-hmm. And that's probably a good thing because I've never seen a good webcam email. View my webcam, that spam you get.
I get that shit all the time on Skype.
Yeah.
It's really annoying where it's
Yeah.
just some girl, she wants to be your contact, and then
How do they make money?
I have no idea.
It
I
must
don't
be
know
that you
how
pay
it-
a subscription, kind of, right?
I guess it's one of those things, because I was going to say, I don't even know how they get anybody to fall for it, but I guess it's a numbers game. You know, you send it
Yeah.
out to
100 people.
5,000 people.
Yeah.
One of them's going to bite. I
Yeah,
guess.
somebody's going to bite and be like, oh, she's
Yeah.
nice.
I'm lonely.
Yeah, I guess that's it. That's it, yeah. So, and it's safe because you're like remote. So it's not like being a stripper.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you're
That's a
you're
good
there's
point.
it's very antiseptic because you're not actually in a dude's lap.
Just in the comfort of your own home.
You're in the
you know?
comfort of your own home, and you're actually got like a stew going on the stove or something. You know, the kid's napping is what's going on, and then you're stripping for some dude in Des Moines. You know, and then you're just like, and your husband's at work. And then he comes home. How was your day, honey? Oh, 3 dudes. Ah, excellent. You know, high five.
Nice.
That's what's really going.
$500.
$500. Bang.
One thing I wanted to talk to you about was your prank calls that you've been making. Well, actually,
They're
you
reverse
haven't been
prank call.
Yeah, they're reverse prank
They're
calls. They're
reverse
calling
prank
you.
phone calls. Yeah.
Yeah, those are going to be debuting over the next couple of weeks. It's
Okay, good.
a character named Betty Sue. I wanted
Betty
to make
Sue,
sure
yeah.
I had you on the show before I actually aired them. That way we
Okay.
can kind of build to it a little bit.
Cool.
They
Yeah.
were very funny, man. I really enjoyed
You know,
it.
and I felt like it could have gone better than that. I just kind of, okay, in case you can't tell that I'm behind the technological curve, I have a track phone and a landline. And so you get a lot of phone calls. We've had the same phone number for like 10 years. And so you get a lot of this junk phone calls. And it's not even junk. I think if you've given to, say, the Special Olympics before, which we have, then they can call you like every year. You keep saying no. You know, you're supposed to say remove me from your list, but if it's a charity, you don't feel really good about doing it.
Yeah.
So then we just get all these calls, and they're always like right when your family wants to eat dinner. My routine is I get off my bike coming back from work. I'll have a beer to unwind or something. And next thing you know, I'm trying to talk to my wife, and the fucking phone rings, you know? And then like I tried, and it's right, we're having dinner as a family, the phone rings. So what I've tried to do is try to channel that frustration into some material for you, but I don't think the best has happened yet because
That's good, though. The
yeah,
best is
because
yet
I want to
come.
unveil a newer character. Betty Sue is just like this. Oh, God bless your heart. God bless you for calling, and you know. And then I want to say something to the effect of like, oh, and if would you pray with me? You know, I want to reverse it on them. You know, would you like to pray with me for now? And if a demon should dwell in your spirit, then it should cast it into the lake of fire. You know, or something like that. You know,
See how long you can keep
would
them on
you
the line.
would you pray with me? Okay, here we go. Dear Beelzebub, would you, you know, and just like they switch it around, make it too creepy.
I was going to tell you what my favorite part of one of those is. I'll do it when we're off
I don't
air
remember
because I
hardly
wanna-
any of them. I edited them for you, but then I purged them from my memory.
Yeah, I don't want to give anything away on
Yeah.
the show, but they were some pretty funny stuff. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to having those on.
Okay, good.
I'd also like to have your dad on the show sometime.
All right.
You know, maybe
we'll have
next
to work
time
it
we'll
out.
Skype him. That'd be a lot of
I
fun.
think
Cool.
he's got the Skype going on. You know, we could do that. Yeah, get him. His stories are usually good. You got to kind of coach him what story to tell first.
Yeah.
So he already told the story one time about the guy who was just really weird that he pooped in his car.
Yeah.
So
that was a good one.
there's more. There's more stories from Mike Sr. Mike the second, actually. I'm the third. So yeah, get Dad on the show.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. As
He
long
was a
as-
lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah, he's a talker.
He
He's a
didn't
talker.
hear me, but that's okay. I
Yeah.
think
He was
we can
calling
adjust
into
some volume.
the radio station.
Yeah.
though.
So
we
it was
there's,
a little
there's things we could do. Yeah, there's things you could do here that'd be different. It'd work
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Speaking of different, how's the new theme that you have at Cat's Lounge? It's not new now, but the last
Yeah.
time you were on, you were talking about changing things up. How's
Yeah.
that going?
Okay, so what we have is a contest, and it's called the Funniest Person in Southeast Kettering Contest, because everybody's the funniest person in whatever, you know. The whole format I have is that you have this contest for like 5 people for 6 minutes or 7 minutes each, and that each of about 40 minutes. I'll do 10 minutes in the beginning, and then afterwards we have funnier black comics.
bigger sets.
Way funnier but black comics. So next time we're going to have Jesse Nutt on a week from Tuesday.
Nice.
And Carlin
He's
Haggerty.
really funny.
Carlin Haggerty featuring, and then I can't even tell you the list because it's at home, but
And that's in Kettering.
in Kettering it'll
Don't know
be
the
the
address,
Ape. It's on Stroop Road. It's Cat's Lounge is a real Band Bar.
And what time?
9 o'clock, April 11th. Check it out. Roll on in. It's free.
Well, you were talking about your Facebook video earlier. We're going to have a Facebook video on the website of an officer in Wisconsin who was being scammed by supposed IRS agent. That was the last person they should have tried that on.
Yeah. That's what I'm waiting for, that phone call.
They sent him a text message, and immediately the guy thought to himself, well, wait a minute, if this is really the IRS, they usually don't notify you by text.
They do letters.
Exactly.
That's right.
And that was what he was thinking. I should have gotten something in the mail.
Yep.
And he called the guy up. He said his name was something like John Maxwell or something like that.
Yeah.
A few minutes later, he changed it to John Morris. And then the guy called him on it, and he was like, well, my name's John Maxwell Morris. And just all kinds of bullshit.
Yeah.
So if you want to check that out, go to WeDon'tHaveCookies.com.
That's
Have
cool.
you ever had anybody try to run something like that
Yeah.
by you?
It was a voice message, though. It was because I have a landline. I have an answer machine, and it was somebody left a message. You have a number to call. But they said something that didn't sound weird. It says, IRS is going to file suit against you, or is going to, but the English was wrong of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, that doesn't sound right at all. And I think if the IRS was going to contact you, being a federal agency, there'd be some robo voice doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You wouldn't have like some dude.
Personal phone call.
You wouldn't get a person, hey, I'm Ron with the IRS, and we're going to sue you. And just call this number. So I think that would be a funny one to pick up on if I got it.
I
This
hope
would be
you get
time of
one.
year. That would be cool. Please call during dinner. Because my 2 daughters and wife really think this is amusing what I'm doing, by the way. I left that out. The phone will ring. I'll run, get my recorder. It takes about 4 seconds to turn on. I got to push a button and hold it. But I guess they're just putting up with me. The next character I want to get to is Philip T. Tibbs. He's going to be a farmer, and he's going to be like, it's Philip T. Tibbs. And then there's a keyboard that my daughter has that has farm animal noises on it. So it'd be like, "Wow, shut up, Betsy. Got this man on the phone." So if we finally get done with Betty Sue, is that her name, Betty
Yeah,
Sue? I gotta remember because then we're gonna move on to Philip T. Tibbs. I can't be accused of harassing anybody because they're harassing me.
Yeah.
I know they're at their job, and that's something, I guess. But
I think they probably would enjoy it anyway, because it has to be tedious making all these phone calls all day long to people who really don't want to talk to you.
yeah, and they
then
probably get
something
much
funny
ruder.
happens. Well, it's time for us to take a break, but it's also tax time. If you need help with your taxes, go visit our friends at Tax Time. Go to www.taxtymeusa.com.
Stanley! Worship! Jim! Hudson!
Greetings, heroes. Stan Lee's here to battle. It's the mind behind the Hulk against the geek beneath the flag. I'm just your friendly neighborhood writer man with a secret identity of a super MC whose raps are as dark as my shade. You squealing like you're in trouble now, Jimmy. You dirty old hippie. Your beard needs a little bit of snip and skippy. Heck, that face on your neck ain't sexy. You one pot sweetums, the other pot skexy. Step up to Lee and you get your butt kicked. Your Muppet Snuffleupagus stuff is butt kiss. A broke for Rigno and the comics code. So keep your frog and pig show moving right along down the road.
I'm glad you got that out. That anger can clutter your mind. But you're a creative man, Stanley. Yeah. So let's just leave it behind. Because I can sense your tension. Once the verbal fencing starts commencing, there is no defense against the dense Jim Henson is dispensing. And I'm clenching all your strings like you're a puppet in suspension. Call your superhero friends in. Yeah, because you're going to need a vengeance. Let me mention, I'm impressed by all the vision that it took for you to sign your name on all of Jack Kirby's comic books.
Nice try, Frogman, but Jack was a friend of mine. But that was a low blow. He did his own thing, and now you've made it clobbering time. Long you taught children to count and spell. Then you taught your own kids how to drop your wife harder than you flopped on SNL. I'm telling you, Henson, you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I'm a marvel of a party pooper. I'll snap your turtleneck like a doozer stick and put you out to pasture like Mr. Hooper. I'm sorry, Jim. Sometimes I can't control my rage. Honestly, there's a lot of things that you can't control at my age. But the truth is, I miss you. You were gone too soon. You were like watching a beautiful sunset at noon.
stand. Don't be sad. We all have a time to go. Yeah. Most of the internet thought that you died 12 years ago. But the 4 will always be fantastic. The hope will always be incredible. The words you wove within the hearts of heroes are indelible. There is no beef between us. We're two minds of the same kind. And there is no man who could ever muck with what we've left behind.
I rock the mic properly. Turning profits, I got the key. I'm the juggernaut of stacking knots unstoppably. The Disneyland lord of your intellectual property. So get back to work. That's my time you're wasting. I didn't buy you for billions so you could play around debating. You belong to Disney, which means you stay busy cranking out magic and assembly line whimsy. Artists begging me to star, I won't let 'em. Labor conditions in my show, I don't sweat 'em. I'm powerful enough to make a mouse gigantic. With only 3 circles, I dominate the planet. Clearly, there's nobody near me. I'm owning this battle. In fact, I own this whole series. So hop on my steamboat, boys. But don't rock it. I'll put a smile on your face and green in your pocket. You'll be safe and insured when you're under my employ. Now look at it. Gaze upon my empire of joy.
Do you have an impression request for Marco Fuji or just want to contact the show? Send an email to jason@wedonthavecookies.com.
You can also call 929-266-9342. I also want to let everybody know that we're available on a new platform called Castbox. Make sure you check that out. I actually started using Castbox for my podcast. It's a pretty good little system they got there. So make sure you go check those guys out, castbox.com. First thing we're going to get into back from the break is a question from my last guest. I was going to say from last week's guest, but we do 2 shows a week now, so that kind of mixes things up. So I got to change the verbiage. But what's the strangest thing you've seen in any form of public transportation?
I'm going to be kind of disappointing, and I would guess I'd just say that I had a cross-dresser sit next to me when I was on the Red Line in Chicago. That's just about it, but it was pretty tame. My experiences with public transportation aren't all that bad if you don't count Dayton using electric trolleys still.
You know, I don't think I've ever taken public transportation other than the school bus.
Yeah.
I've never been on a city bus or a taxi or a train, anything like that.
What Dayton's got going on is kind of weird because we still have, like, they're on. This person might not be local with the person with the question, right? Yeah,
normally I don't say who it is because I want people to check out the last episode, but they're actually a person who is in charge of a subway train in the UK.
Wow. Okay, so here's what we got in Dayton, and maybe this will be kind of an answer to the question. We have electric bus trolleys. So they run on electricity, okay? Mm-hmm. And now that sounds pretty cool. Like, hey, we don't have to have, the dependence on fossil fuel. They've got the lines. Now, the thing is that very routinely they go offline and then they're stranded there. And then all those people on the bus, all 3 of them, have to be rescued by another bus that doesn't run on lines. So where did they get? And now there's new ones. So we haven't let go of this. There's no real reason for it. It's not San Francisco where they're on rails. They're actual buses. So I saw the other day, like, the next generation electric trolley, and I'm thinking that's like the high-tech stagecoach. Is it that is? It's like, so it's like, like, hey, bus driver, can you take a left up here? Nope, can't do that. I can go here to the left about 2 feet and then to the right about 2 feet. The other poles will fall off. Then we'll have to be rescued by another bus that doesn't run on poles. I don't even know why my job hasn't been replaced by automation yet. It's just a pure mystery.
If they're going to go with electric buses, it looks like they just go all the way.
Yeah, I mean,
why not?
It's like they're trying to combine the constraints of a train with the lack of appeal and the high maintenance of a bus. Just pick one. Put rail in, and make it really efficient, or just disconnect the lines there and just run the dang thing on natural gas. That's probably better than the cross-dresser in Chicago, whatever, but it wasn't even that big a deal. It's just come to Dayton, you'll see some weird buses.
I read this week that if spiders ate humans, they could eat all of us in a year.
Because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'd have a year, I guess. It'd be we'd have to really make the best out of that year, I guess.
I think within a year, we could probably figure something out to stop them, though.
I would
Don't you
think so. I mean, yeah, they're probably pretty dumb. I mean, you get to step on them. I mean, they don't figure much out. But
Right.
I will tell you that last year I struggled with spider bites, and I got bit in my feet by spiders because I have these boots. I leave them in the garage. I get mud on them. Now, guess what wants to crawl in there? Spiders, right? They want to go into some place. I don't even know what makes spiders tick. But I'll tell you what, I had 2 gigantic blisters on my feet, and then you can't walk, and so I'm barely be able to walk. Why? Because I got bit by spiders on my foot. Don't even feel it at the time. So I am scared. I'd be the first to go. I'd be like the guy who died. I'm allergic to spiders or something.
We were just talking earlier about where you were talking about charities calling you if you donate once and how they try to guilt you into doing that.
Yeah.
Before the show, I went to Arby's.
Uh-huh.
I place my order, they tell me how much it is, and then they say, would you like to donate $1 so kids don't starve?
Yeah.
What the fuck? It's not even, would you like to donate $1 to this foundation?
I think somebody's going
It
off
had to-
script. I think
yeah.
somebody went off script there.
I do too, because that was the most guilt-trippy shit I've ever seen.
Yeah, was it a young kid?
She was probably maybe, I don't know, 20 to 25, something like that.
Yeah, she wasn't like the manager, though. You could tell, right?
I don't know, maybe she was.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
seemed way too personable for doing what she's doing. She was very happy. When I pull up to give her the money, she was like, it's nice to meet you, and took my money.
Nice to meet you.
I've never had anybody tell me it was nice to meet me in a drive-thru.
Nice to meet you in a drive-thru. Yeah, nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too. What do you say to that? Like
Yeah, it wasn't like we were hitting on each other or something, and I
Yeah.
was about to drive off, and she was letting me know it was nice to meet me. That was the first thing she said to me. It was very bizarre.
yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah, I guess that's the thing. And you should have been like, I've been here 8 times. That's what you should have said. What do you mean? I've been here like 8 times. She wouldn't remember. She'd be just that guilt trip her. One guilt trip deserves another, is what I'm saying. I'm a regular. That's what you should say. I was here yesterday.
We just had this conversation.
Yeah, I just came back for some. I just came back for seconds. I was here an hour ago.
Another weird thing that happened, I went to the Gym City Comic-Con today.
Mm-hmm.
I was...
Cosplaying,
yeah.
of course, in your
There
bikini.
was a lot of that. And I thought about getting a picture taken with a couple of people. One dude dressed like Batman.
You want a panda costume? I got one.
There you
Go next year.
That's what I should have done. I should have went as Kung Fu Panda.
There you go.
So I get to the convention center, and I got to find a place to park. Found this little parking area, parked my car, and then they had this weirdly complicated system. I guess it's not too complicated. You're supposed to put change in whatever slot that you park in, but I don't have change.
Yeah.
So for all-day parking, you have to put in $3, but it's not an automated thing. There's just a slot, and it's the honor system, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And you're supposed to fold the $1.50.
No, I know what you're talking
and
about.
then again, and
That's very common, yeah.
see, I've never seen that. And what I did is I actually filmed myself doing it.
Yeah.
I thought, I'm going to come out, and they're probably going to tow my car because there's no way to prove that I don't get a receipt.
Yeah.
I don't get anything. And then after I pay, I'm supposed to just get this thing and put it into the slot where my car is.
Yeah.
And it just seemed so absurd.
Yeah.
It blew me away. So like I said, I actually filmed myself. Like, look, I'm putting the money in the slot. Here's the parking spot. Here's the number.
Yeah, you got to hope there's some dude that's going to check it in an hour if you did all that. You have to fold up $3 bills and stick it in with that metal thing. It's weird. I felt weird the first time I did that. And that's
Yeah.
how Dayton works, It's like there's probably some dude who's watching like 8 of those lots or something is what I feel like. I hope.
So the only time I've ever seen anything close to that was a parking lot that was owned by these lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
And the parking spaces were numbered really fucking weird. They weren't sequentially numbered.
They're probably trying to trick you.
And that's what they did.
Yeah.
And they would actually come out and they would put a boot on your car and have it towed. One of
Huh.
my friends had that happen to her. It was a parking lot across the street from a BW3's. And as soon as I parked there and I got out and I look at this thing, I'm like, I wonder if this is owned by that law firm, because I got a feeling I'm about to get fucked. And I'm sure I look crazy.
that's the worst part of your career arc, is when you have to actually trick people who park in your. That's what kind of attorney you are. What kind of law do you specialize in? Corporate litigation? Nope, I just fuck people in the parking lot.
I'm a bankruptcy lawyer, but I have the scam on the side where I nickel and dime people.
Yeah, that's what you do. Yep, that's what I do. I just make you see where there's a G28 in that slot. Nope, there is no G28. It's 820G, and I'm going to screw them. They're going to go to jail, and I'm going to have to then represent them. And I'll be the free attorney because I've got it all. It's all one-stop shopping. They go to jail, and then I'm the free attorney that's appointed.
That does make you wonder how shitty of a lawyer they are when they're scamming you.
I know.
In the parking
That's the
lot.
thing in
What
Dayton,
the fuck?
Ohio. That's what they need. Yeah, that sounds weird. Yeah, that's a big Comic-Con there that apparently, but I haven't. I have been disconnected from comic books. I have a stack of them in my basement. I would like to know what they're worth, actually, but I think I'm just going to give them to my kids. And I grew up with Iron Man, Spider-Man, everything. I even thought, like in my college days, me and my buddies were spitballing, and I invented a couple like what if you had this character that was just for people with OCD, and he was a villain, and his name would be German, he just spread germs everywhere, And then we were thinking, like, what if you had this guy? He's just called the Fabulous Shamrock. He's just super lucky. So, like he gets cornered into a situation where they're going to fight, and he's obviously going to die. And then the guy he's fighting just gets hit by space junk. It's just every bizarre thing that could happen to his benefit. The Fabulous Shamrock just gets off in the end. Just before you turn the last page, something bizarre happens that's just super lucky.
I like that idea.
Yeah, the Fabulous Shamrock. Maybe some of your listeners could give me some more, I'm willing to work with an illustrator. We could write some episodes. Episodes, they're books. Whatever you call them. I don't know.
I was really surprised when I got there how many people were there and just how much stuff was there.
Oh, sure.
Man, because I haven't read comic books since, God, I don't even know how long. I know it's been decades.
But you got the movies now.
Yeah,
See,
I
we
did watch the movies. I like that.
I'm probably older than you, but we had Batman, the TV show. And you had like Spider-Man, the TV show. Now it's all movies, so it's big bucks.
Or Netflix shows.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
They've been coming out with a lot of those.
Yeah.
Because I started watching a show, Iron Fist.
Mm-hmm.
I just turned it on for something in the background. I ended up watching it, got sucked in, and I really liked it. Apparently, every person who's into comic books thinks it sucks.
I've heard a lot of that chatter on Facebook and stuff, and I'm like, hey, is Iron Fist da-da-da? I don't really know what they're talking about, but...
I think what worked to my benefit is I know nothing about the comic book, and I didn't watch any of the other Netflix shows. I haven't watched, I think, The Flash, Nick Cage, and there's a couple of others. There's at least one more, but I think there's a few more than that. Iron Fist is the only one I've watched.
See, you're
I guess compared to the others, it sucks.
Well, and the less you know, sometimes the better, right?
Yeah.
You're not prejudiced in any way. You could just like it for what it is. You don't have to, because I have seen where sometimes movies have spoiled things, and you'd be like, oh, the book was so much better, that sort of thing. Like, for example, when I was a kid, like Stephen King's It was just like really good for a little while, and then it just got weird, and it was like everybody's like, the book is so much better. So I guess that's the thing. But if you didn't read the book, then you don't know. But I haven't watched it in a long time. Now they redid it, so I haven't watched
Has it
that.
come out yet?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I think not. But
Because I remember watching it, and it was a good movie, like you said, up to a certain point. And then shit got, like, it turned into a tarantula or something. I don't know.
it got weird at the end. It was just a big old monster.
Yeah,
and when it was
very
Pennywise the clown in the sewer, it's right when it was just then it was creepy enough. But then, then it got carried away. And I'm pretty sure I forgot what happened in the book too, though. So I mean, I think the book was much better. But I read the book so long ago, I have to reread it or something. But yeah, there's a lot of that. And I think TV did it because I think when it came out, it was like multiple nights on TV. So it was long,
like a miniseries.
super long. There was another thing when I was a kid called the Martian Chronicles. I don't know if you remember this. It was a week long. And, so it was every night they'd have to fill 2 hours for like 4 days or something. I might be wrong about the exact number, but it was way too long. So I think the length is another reason that things get spoiled like that.
Yeah, that could be it, because it really went off the rails after a certain point.
Yeah.
Well, that leads us to this week's Dumbass of the Year.
Oh, can't wait.
This is a good one.
Okay.
And it takes, at least for me, it took a couple of twists and turns. It was a schoolyard prowler who was caught pants down on a fence.
Okay.
That happened in Arizona. This guy was, like I said, he was caught on a schoolyard, just sort of browsing around trying to get into rooms that he couldn't get into. He saw a guy, it was a locksmith there, kind of freaked him out. He took off running, tried to jump the fence. He was wearing baggy pants, got caught on the fence. He fell over the other side of the fence and his pants were stuck there and he was just kind of hanging with his underwear showing.
He couldn't right himself at all. He was just upside down.
No, and police swarmed the guy pretty quick. So
Yeah.
Apparently there were no kids at the school.
Okay.
And that's a plus, because when I first started reading this, I thought that was the whole point. But before he went to the school, he went to a restaurant and asked if he could use their phone. They gave him a cordless phone, and he just walked out with it. So I think something was wrong with this guy. He might have been on some substances. It doesn't look like he's a pedophile. So that's good.
Yeah.
That's
What did he want from the school is what I want to know. He just wanted to steal some stuff.
Yeah, I think he was just trying to steal some things.
Yeah. Yeah.
At least he's not trying to, find little kids.
Well, he ended up being a pedophile in the end because he ended up showing the whole school his ass and stuff. He ended up exposing himself. Wonder if they could kind of sort of be like, you know how they always try to ring up your rap sheet when you get arrested, they could be like, well, that's also like in what do they call it? Not indecent exposure, but they call it like public.
Oh, public indecency.
Indecency, just because his pants got pulled down and he couldn't get his pants pulled up.
It wouldn't surprise me, man.
Yeah, I would ring him up for that too.
Yeah, why not?
Nude in public. You can't be nude in public. Too bad. Don't jump the fence.
I just wonder what he was going to do with that phone. I mean, you can't use it anywhere else. It's not like you took the guy's cell phone. It's a cordless phone that goes to this one
I know.
place.
It's going to be like my house. It'd be like you'd be getting these calls around dinner time like, hello, no, this ain't Applebee's. Quit calling me. It's Applebee's. No, it's not Applebee's. That's the thing. Is just be like, I don't want this phone anymore. Start doing a Betty Sue impression or something. I don't know.
Do you got anything you want to plug before we go?
I have a web series now called Science with Mike. They're on Facebook. It's through my employer, Sinclair College, and they're on the YouTube as well. We have eight episodes on YouTube, and we have 12 episodes on Facebook. So it's been going pretty well. They're 5 to 10 minutes long. My goal is to cut down the middle of what's on YouTube for science. So science has got a lot of highfalutin stuff from some Ivy League school where some nerd scares everybody, and then it's good for nerds, but it ain't good for the public, where you're trying to stimulate young people maybe. And then it's not funny. But then there's also stuff on YouTube showing you science on how you could blow your finger off, and it doesn't teach you a damn thing. So we're trying to get down the middle of that. So it's been going well. We've been going for a 3 months now. One episode a week on Friday. And I posted on my Facebook page, but you could find it on Sinclair's Facebook page under videos.
Okay. And also this week we have a show at Diesel. That's will be April 8th, 10 p.m., $5 admission. It's at 1914 Edwards Avenue, Springfield, Ohio. On the show will be Ash Ark, Vahid, Jack Legg, Gary Henry, Jonathan Patterson. Headlining the show will be Jonathan Craig, and it'll all be hosted by drag queen Amanda Sue Punchfuck. That is true.
I have not met her. Like the other guys, though, but I'm just not saying that. I have not met her yet, so nice stage name.
Come out to the show, check it out.
Okay.
I haven't met the persona.
Sounds like someone... last time I was at Diesel, we podcasted in your car, but I don't know if you'd want to invite her into your car until you meet her, just because of the name. I mean, I'm just saying just because of the name.
Yeah, it's
Punch fuck. God
it's a
damn.
little rough.
Yeah,
but I
it's
love
rough.
it.
Yeah, I like it. That does. It's got that hard consonant that comedy
Yeah.
needs. So you got it right in the name, right there.
Yeah, punched it up, man.
She said, "Punch that thing up. Punch it up."
Thursday, my guest will be the one and only Benny Mac from New Zealand. We'll be crowning March's Dumbass of the Year, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and I'll talk to you then.
Peace.
Thanks for listening. Tell your friends about the show and leave a review.
I should probably shut up.